Hello, my name is Megan Day, and I chose Leading Video, option 1. This video is intended to assess teachers' perceptions of professional development, specifically on our campus. There are 5 teachers that have volunteered to assist in this focus group. We have Felicia Cummings. She's a veteran teacher in our school. She's been teaching for over 23 years. Micah Baker, she's been teaching for over 8 years. She's an ELR teacher, ESL teacher. She is in her 2nd year on our campus. We have Abby Bedford. She is in her 5th year of teaching. She's an ELR teacher in 6th grade. Marcus Barrientos, he's in his 10th year of teaching, 5th year on this campus, and he teaches social studies, world geography. Then we have Olga Barudos. She's in her 4th year of teaching. She teaches 6th grade English language arts. And then, of course, myself. So what we're planning on doing is to just meet, and I'll sort of lead the group discussion, set the norms, the expectations, explain to them what the purpose is of the focus group. And then I've established a wide-ranging set of guiding questions. I've set it up so it's pretty much just an open format to allow for free-flowing conversation. I did let them know that my mentor will see the video, but this is not something that will be held against them in any sort of way. So to be open and honest, just to get a real feel for how professional development is going on our campus. And then to sort of assess how I feel like the teachers' reactions were and their importance of their professional development on campus. I plan to do that in a couple of ways. One, based off of their contribution and their conversation, the things that they talk about. One of my guiding questions is areas of improvement in professional development on the campus. So I'll be specifically looking at that question and how it's answered by all people in the focus group. And then I intend on giving a survey to all 5 participants to kind of gauge their thoughts on how the focus group went, if it helped them in any way. I think this is going to be a real good way for them to sort of reflect on the professional developments that they've had on this campus, and for some of the veteran teachers compared to professional development that they've had on other campuses. Okay, so I just want to welcome everybody to this meeting. This is, again, just to kind of assess how everybody's feeling about PD on campus. And if you guys can just kind of tame your technology while we're talking, I would appreciate it. And then go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Felicia Cummings. I teach 6th grade science. I've been teaching for 21 years.
I'm Micah Baker. I teach English. I'm Abby Bedford. I teach English language arts and reading. This is my 4th teaching. I teach 6th grade.
I'm Marcus Barrientos. I teach 6th grade social studies, and I'm a year 10 teacher.
And I'm Olga Barudos. I teach 6th grade ELR, and this is my 4th year of teaching.
Okay. Good. Okay. So I give you guys an agenda, and it has some sort of guiding questions. So again, this is just going to be very open to hold a conversation about PD. How often do we hold PD on campus?
Yes. Tuesdays after school.
Okay. What kind of topics or skills are usually covered in PD?
Well, there's been quite a few for like logistics, like how to use our all learning clicker system, how to use the Google Drive. Which I think is so important. Mm-hmm. You. Think about our users. Mm-hmm. We heard it for child abuse.
Policy.
Policy. We're supposed to be doing a study,
A
book study. Mhm.
We did our presentation. Yes.
Does it change by content then, or is it like the same for everybody?
The PDs was coming for everybody.
Okay. Okay. Do you think that the PDs are purposeful?
I think sometimes, some of the things that I think we take for granted, what we did the other day, everybody, Google Drive, everybody knows how to use it. They start out as being purposeful. I don't think that they're necessarily differentiated the way that they need to be. People who have types of master, there's that we master.
I think it's purposeful. The way I think that's timing is what we show up. Like Mr. Barrios said, it's purposeful because we need to know the information about our life, like Ms. Barrios said. She had the first year's. So going into the new school year, we need to be proactive when the year ends. What do we need going into the school year so that we won't engage in professional development that's been for some redundant or for some a waste of time because they already, like Mr. Burns said, mastered the skill or mastered the technology.
Okay. Yeah, timing is always very important. Do you have the opportunity to lead professional development? Or have you had the opportunity?
Yes.
I think depending on if you're in charge of a committee or like TEI, right, specialists or ESL, those people are people they pull from to lead PD at times. But I think other than that, unless you're identified by an administrator, there's really.
Well, and there's like the books that say that we're supposed to.
Yeah, this year they implemented it. Yeah.
But again, that's us giving us material.
Yeah. And it also hasn't worked out.
Also, last year, I don't know if you are.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can do more of that.
Yeah.
When you,
I think too, I think department, right, breaking up more into department PD would be helpful. Because it's been more just all like logistics, right, policy and things like that. And we're forgetting like content pieces.
not different.
I think that's important as well, but I think also throughout the year we need to do not just department, but our benefit coming to EDLD where you are presenting, because then I know what it is that students need to know for EDLD or the social studies so that we can, when we get back to integrating cross curriculum, because I see now the students isolate, and when you isolate things or isolate subjects, you don't benefit from the whole subject.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's also useful, like, if teachers are especially going to the ELR PDs, because they can learn what strategies do you teach your kids, because I mean, everybody does reading. So you can use them in any content. I think that's very useful. Right. Okay, so who usually leads PD then, since it's, I mean, I guess we sometimes get to lead it, but usually it's not the teachers that get the opportunity to. Okay. Do you ever have the opportunity to suggest professional development that you'd like to see on your campus?
You opportunity to just the survey, but now which means and then after the people who did the survey doesn't look like nobody taking into consideration what people could be. You know, not to be immediate the next week because it's really weekly, but you would think over time, from 1 to 6 weeks or 6 weeks, just come back and saying, okay, we noticed in the survey, allows teachers to implement the PD on classroom management. So what we've done is A, B, C, D. And then allowing for teachers input, not necessarily if you are over a committee or if you DTR, but just all teachers have something to offer to a campus.
Very true. Good. Okay, we sort of already answered this. So we are able to suggest, obviously, different PDs that we want. Is the administration receptive to these suggestions? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
I know that from talking to teachers, and I know that individually, you know, classroom management is a necessity. Even those of us who will continue, you know, you're better, but you still need classroom management. This is not really as I want to say like as the world turns, you know, generation to generation, and different techniques for develop. Because I think we all would agree, correct me if I'm wrong, there are different types of students. So a classroom management can't be cookie cut every time. You have to make adjustments based on as you learn those students and build those. So I agree with Ms. Becker that I don't think the suggestions have been taken into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Or even like, I'm saying even personal follow-up, right? Following up with that person who suggested that, yeah. There's not, yeah. Or do like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could do.
Good.
And you know, another thing we all to buy into that, if we knew that a teacher needed classroom management, it would have to be the whole campus. I mean, I think one year they tried it, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
somebody needed classroom management, somebody needed visual drive, or we could go to different.
I think they tried that last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I think that would be.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. Mhm.
That's a good idea because you can archive. I mean, yeah.
You could use that forever. Mhm.
walk. And I know, you know, and things that we, I think that roll out, do enough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I guess that kind of leads into the question about attending,
Mhm.
right? And I know that has to do with coverage and things, but I just think that's really.
Well, and I remember a couple years ago, some people in the social studies department had the chance to go to other schools to observe them, and I think that would be useful, you know.
Vice versa.
Right. Because we can see in our own building what people are doing and how people are teaching things, but what's another campus doing? What are they like? How do they teach this? How do they do their management? What's different? Mhm.
2 years, right? And I have been supported in that area to
Mhm.
go to another school. Nowadays, I'm just going to take off.
Uh-huh.
But I think what we're saying is that if other people incorporate into our PD and documented this is what we do to help develop our teachers, help develop, our school, because it sounds like to me, we do a lot of the things in our classroom that we don't do amongst ourselves. And I mean, like the once, students looking at other students' work to critique. I know a lot of you do it in your classroom, but we don't do it as adults, as teachers. So you see how it benefits students, it definitely benefits.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's your teachers. And I feel kind of bad that in this building is so big,
Mhm.
and new teachers are driving, and it's not because veterans are ignoring them. It's just that the opportunity is not provided to be able to collaborate. I think PD should be, there's enough PD days.
Mhm.
To spread out the needs of.
Well, wasn't that was sort of the, right, wasn't it culture?
Oh,
Yeah. 4 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the main one, and then we had, and one was supposed to be at some
Mhm.
building, yeah, and corners.
I was just thinking about something when you were talking a second ago, Miss Cummings. What was it? You said that you've requested for the last couple of years to go to other campuses. What ever happened with that? Like it just.
Actually, the conversation, went, that was a good idea, and sure, this is what we should do.
Mhm. And then it just never happened.
I know we call up the school things, but these some type of way we are accountable to the things that we do to help our develop more teachers.
Mhm. Well, and another thing that I was thinking about a second ago was, we do all of these things in our classrooms, gallery walks and anchor charts and all of this stuff, but during PD, it's like the opposite of what they want to see happening in our rooms. And I think it would be beneficial, especially for new teachers, if they led the PD the way you should be teaching in your classroom. Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Nope. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the only thing you want to do over and just over and over, and that's the MOS strategies.
Uh-huh.
You know, if they were, because I know going to people outside of the school, because we all adults, we got long days, after school, we do probably need to move on. We need to be engaged. We need to get a piece of chart together, and then that way we will have collaboration across the content. Not always, sometimes yes, we need to sit in departments, but not always. And teachers will get to build relationships with other teachers,
Mm-hmm.
get their thoughts. You know, it's always, you know, because like for us, we're in the pod, we see each other every day. We collaborate and talk, but I don't see Miss Baker or Mr. Barnett unless I'm going to the restroom or not. They say, get out of you know, you would see from the beginning of the school year to the end, our teachers have grown, changed, developed, you know, build relationships. It will help build, it will help build the morale and the pride.
Mm-hmm.
Without even, you know, without all the meetings and who, you can actually do those things and not have it formally done. And do it right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're killing two birds with one stone. You're killing the climate, but you're also, you know, learning, learning, um,
Mm-hmm.
ways of teaching.
Instructional strategy.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. 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 And to go with that, like if you're leading a PD the way you're supposed to be teaching it in a classroom, instead of just saying, "Oh, you need to be doing MRS in your classroom," but well, what does that look like? If I'm a new teacher, I don't have a clue what that looks like. Show me. Yes. Show me what it looks like. Let me do it.
Right. What all that does, people would be, I think,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
everybody's moving towards.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. All right. So we've talked about PD on our campus. Let's talk about PD outside of campus. Does the administration require PD outside of campus for teachers, or is it different for each content?
I think it's a little requirement. I think the district, yeah, required to come to school, we are required to have house.
Mm-hmm.
But once we get in, there is no requirement, there are no checks and balances for that. Again, that's going back to, developing a teacher, other than if something comes up to requirement. Whether it's science conference. Okay, conference for EOR.
I mean, I'm thinking, we do send out sessions or PD that's outside of campus that we could take part in. But again, it's still optional, at least from my end. Like, I know right now, I'm going to a six sessions throughout the year on a Saturday, for 3 hours. And it is actually PD. But for ELAR. But yeah, other than that, it's not.
Well, and I think last year we were even told not to be
During.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, to that, even like the tag modules that we're doing, those have to be, they're unpaid, they're after school. Nice. And that's not always very efficient, they're not gonna happen today. Because we're sacrificing our development, operational. It's not always the most organized. We lost our partnership with the region.
Yes. We did.
Yeah, I got that.
Because tag GT part. He was saying I was understanding for GT because it was offered at night and but when I called the department said that those schools were offered in the summer. I think we need to do a job and if you're requiring teachers to do certain things, again, timing. And another thing I think a good idea would be, this all based on doing, whether it's together. You create a grade system and maybe 2 persons.
Yeah.
So this, therefore, definitely not to be outside of our school, because she's not able to acclimate.
Yeah.
And that needs to go out again, I do know all outside people, I know about the little struggles, because those individuals who go in those departments, that's what their job requirement is, PDs for schools.
I remember 2 years ago, I remember there were occasions where our campus did send one of the PDs during the school day. I feel like, as within this past year and last year, it's like been non-existent. I know instructional coaches have gone to PDs. But other than that, I mean, we used to, at least occasionally, not a lot, but occasionally, and then they were supposed to bring back that information. All right. But that kind of just came out.
There's that one that all were to go to.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Reading and writing and
I remember that.
yeah. And it fell.
It's canceled. Yeah.
Well, the ones that are the GT ones that Mr. Barrientos was just talking about, are those mandatory? Because if it's after school and it's at night, how do you mandate that?
It's supposed to be mandatory for you to speak. And I would think the option was you could summer, we found out, never found out, we no one communicated that.
What happened is, it wasn't quote unquote mandatory. Mandatory if you teach, you need to have those courses. When you are to get them, at the of your administration in your building.
Okay.
But I did find out that they're offering it again because they had too many teachers that were unable to attend courses. Because at night they just told us about it. We were unaware that it was offered.
Okay. Seems like there's just like either a miscommunication or a disconnect of some sort. Let's see. How has PD on campus evolved over time? So the school's been open for 5 years now. How has it changed from year 1 to year 5? Or has it changed?
I was saying, room was some business and some 4 hours. That's what it was, but when I was rotating through rooms and getting my
Mm-hmm.
like, good. All the coaches that too. Yeah.
I would say, I mean, this is me on my fourth year here, but I kind of feel like there's certain things that are repeated, but certain things have to be repeated. Right?
Mhm.
Something they have, they're obligated to do. And I do think that's where that differentiation we're talking about, where, for instance, we have had all our learning now for what, almost 2 years? The people who got it down and who use it in their classroom on a daily basis don't need to be sitting in a session like that, or they should be used to facilitate it or help out, right? Use them to teach. So I feel like certain things have just been repetitive, and I personally feel like there's a lot of sessions where I feel like I don't grow as a professional because I'm like, I've heard this over the past 2 years, same information, nothing new. I feel like I could be using my time in another way.
You're right. I'm going back to a question we already answered. You could use your time by presenting all the learning in the beginning of the school year to new teachers.
Mhm.
And I'm saying, those of you that have it, find a buddy that doesn't have it or doesn't understand it. And we'll let them walk you through and ask you questions.
And then also, number one, because I know this past PD, they brought somebody to the district, right? But also I'm thinking like, then you gain those skills in becoming a leader on your campus, right? Or other teachers seeking out your help because they acknowledge, hey, he knows this about this topic, and he knows that about that. That's who I can reach out. That way it's not always falling on instructional coaches only, right?
Right.
Like you can reach out to your colleagues.
Mhm.
That's Mr. put in his little because he doesn't know how.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if it's up, you come over.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. The PD, I mean, it's, you know, it's out. So when did you implement this new piece on the project? And the gentleman said, so again, if it was implemented in August and here we are in December, that's kind of late. I mean, that's something that we should have been using already. And then I must say, when you go around and say, please sign up, and people sign up who are already competent in our learning, but everybody just sitting there like this. And I think the reason is because we're in December now, and nobody wants responsibility to overwhelm or overload their plate because there's so many things going on.
Right.
So help somebody not there's so many things at this point. I don't want to commit to do without learning, because that means we got to set up time for that. Because that's not something you can do once.
Mhm.
You know, and most of us are doing that. So it's just right now, but again, time.
Yep. Totally agree. Okay, we sort of touched on this and said how things could be differentiated more. But is PD differentiated at all? Mhm.
They said 0 to 5 years. Oh, think about it.
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah.
But and to kind of piggyback off of that, I don't think that it was differentiated correctly at the beginning of this year, because to say if you've been teaching for 0 to 5 years, A 4 or 5 year teacher is much different than a new teacher. Much different.
I'm sitting here with you are right now. And I wasn't, I don't, you know, I don't even claim to know everything. And what I'm saying is, I remember sitting that way. The teachers were by, they said that was like, okay, you don't know anything. Let's be honest. There are some people that will, this is not a very set with the 21st, but there are some, and I feel like a man when you think about veterans and new teachers. Something else, something to merge them together. They can learn each other.
Yeah.
So I agree. It was, the intent was to be differentiated, but it didn't come out of that.
And that's where it comes down to knowing the strengths of your staff. Because for instance, in that meet back session, I listened and they're like, are you kidding? But if I had been leveraged to say, hey, Ms. Bruto, can you take 5 people and help them? I would have been engaged. Because I'd be like, okay, at least I'm teaching and helping them and showing them the trick. But because I was forced,
and I know that you get excited. Most people get excited to present information they already know. Because it's like doing a service you're having something. But they get
yeah.
Okay. Do you feel that PD has helped develop you as a teacher? This could be on campus or off.
I'm very similar the same way. The district meetings that I've attended are very much kind of what we've been talking about. Presented in the way you should run your classroom, you get useful resources and ideas, and it really motivates me in thinking, ooh, I want to take that back to my class, or I want to do that thing. Versus I feel like on campus, it's more, like I said, at least this year mostly has been a lot about logistics and not growing us in other ways. And I think that's kind of maybe why I feel that way.
I also feel like
Yeah, you're fine.
that sometimes it's with a district 45 minutes. Yeah. And so they are going to hold us in the room 45 minutes, whether they have something for us. Yeah. And sometimes it feels like
say, work on your social calendar.
I work on your website.
Yeah, but that's right. And those are the days I was very excited. Doing this because this is so we're not
and that makes me go back to, again, because our PD is falling on instructional coaches and admin. But if you had leverage to say, hey, you could lead a PD, what would you lead a PD on? Because I'm someone who I would love the opportunity to be able to lead PDs too. And at the same time, though, like, granted, maybe it's my fault. I need to go and step out and talk and say, hey, I want to do this. It could be on my part too, but I don't feel like our admin looks for that or asks for suggestions or a list. Because I would love that opportunity too, to grow as a leader on campus. Instead of, relying on certain people over and over again or things like that. So, I don't know. Because, I think all of us have different things we do in our classrooms that are great. And share that with our colleagues.
Well, I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. The admin's not necessarily receptive to it.
Yeah.
Even if it is suggested, like you suggested for the last 2 years, it just doesn't happen. Maybe.
Well, yeah, it comes down to also letting, I don't know, I think it depends on the campus. Like saying, releasing that control that person on, holding them accountable. I think with our book study this year, granted, I know it's time-wise, and I feel like something ended up a meeting, something else is over somebody's presentation time. That's why it's gotten pushed back. But then it's kind of community for the rest of the year, like, no one's gonna present, and like, who,
They're supposed to go into.
yeah, or,
Nobody presented, so that means we want.
that's. Right.
Because what happens is, again, like students, like, you feel like there was no immediate feedback. One gathered us together and said, okay, this come up, and so this group is not going to present, this group won't present, or everybody back to the screen. You know, again, we'll make too cool expectations, so you leave it open, and so what we do is like, okay, so it's me. You haven't asked, I'm trying to read it, and students feel the same way, and we pay whatever you give them feedback, it's just,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I totally agree.
Okay. Well, the last question that I have, we've sort of covered it throughout all of this, but are there any other opportunities for improvement on campus or in PD that we haven't already talked about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think receptive. Not what they think we need. They need to listen to what we want.
Right.
Because then you also have a more engaged staff at PD when they want that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being ignored, you know.
Yeah.
I think differentiation between. It's hard because it really does come down to admin really knowing each one of their staff members.
And what they need.
What they need.
But we're going to do that.
We are. I mean, no, I agree, but I'm trying to think how realistic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate all of you giving your time up for this. So thank you.
This was very beneficial for me. Actually, I was going to reflect and look at, okay, am I developing? What is am I developing? Am I developed through the PD sphere or just prior to coming to the school? Or outside of the other things that, what can we do so that we can develop? So again, collaboration is key.
And taking the time to have these conversations.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's allowing time. And you know, now that you just think about that, so many staff members and times for doing it, there's counseling or other things. They're like, why aren't you talking to them about what they're learning in these at their colleges and how can they bring it back to you, right?
Yep.
So, leveraging your staff.
All right.
But yeah.
Well, thank you again, guys. Okay, so to sort of sum up everything that happened in our focus group, I kind of wanted to go over a few of the questions that we talked about, and kind of give my analysis on how teachers are feeling in the building in general. So professional development on our campus is held every week, and there's a wide variety of topics that are discussed, but I got the feeling from the group that most of it was policy oriented, and not necessarily in the development of the teachers. So I think this is one way that we could already improve professional development on our campus, is to look at the strengths and weaknesses of the staff that we have on campus, and look at who could lead some professional development and help guide some teachers, and also looking at the weaknesses. What are the needs on the campus? What do we need to work on? How could we spend our time each week, since we have professional development each week? What can we do to help these teachers and see improvement? And discipline was a big issue that was brought up, and I think that's something that needs to consistently be worked on, and I think that could be improved through professional development and through modeling, like many of the teachers were suggesting during the focus group. So the teachers also said that they have the opportunity to lead professional development occasionally. However, this is not something that they usually are volunteering for. It's more of a voluntold situation, and it's not necessarily in their strongest areas. So that's another area that we could improve on, looking at, again, the strengths and weaknesses of the people on campus and how we can utilize them. So then we also looked at, are we able to make suggestions to administration as far as what professional development that we want to see on campus? The answer to that was yes, we are able to make suggestions. This year, our campus implemented a survey at the end of each professional development. So we are able to give our suggestions as to what we want to see happening in our professional development. However, one big downfall of that is that there's no evidence that anything that's been suggested is being utilized in professional development. So this is my big suggestion to the administration on campus, is to hear what the people on your campus are saying. Listen to them. Use what they're asking for and guide them, assist them in what they need, because if you're able to assist them, it's going to make everything run smoother on your campus. So they also mentioned they're able to attend PD outside of campus. It's not required by the administration. Of course, they like that you attend PD outside of campus. Many of the teachers said that that's much more beneficial to them than the PD on campus. So I think that's maybe something important to look at, see how is PD being led off campus, and maybe mimic that in some sort of way on our own campus. Looking at how PD has evolved over time on this campus, it's a fairly new school. It's only been open for 5 years, so PD has not changed a whole lot. However, there are some things that have changed. For example, at the beginning of this year, there was a much more formulaic method to professional development before school started. And this was very effective for some teachers, and I think that they need to continue that. I think that's definitely something to look at and continue doing each year. Something that Ms. Cummings mentioned at the end of our focus group is, this really caused her to think back and reflect as a veteran teacher for teaching over 20 years. She's had the time to be on other campuses and experience professional development in other places. And, through this focus group, she's had the chance to really sit back and look and think, have I gained anything from being on this campus, or everything I've learned was it at the other campus? And I think that's something that she's going to discuss with the administration as well, because, as a veteran teacher, yes, a lot of things and you can help a lot of new teachers. But at the same time, everybody has room for improvement, and she would like to see that. And at this point, I don't think she is seeing it. So like I said, there's plenty of opportunities for improvement on campus, and I think that they've made some good improvements in professional development. And I think we need to keep moving in the right direction and keep holding those important conversations with each other. All right. So in summary, what went well? I thought the whole meeting went well. I thought it was very informative and very useful discussion, very reflective. What would I change? I don't think I would really change much about the meeting. I think that I would like to have this conversation with more teachers. I would like to include administration in the meeting next time. If we were to have another meeting like this. This was just a small group of teachers from this campus. So it would be useful to get more teachers' opinions regarding this topic. any surprising information that was revealed. I thought that it was surprising that all people participating in the group were more than willing to lead professional development. I think that can be intimidating on a large campus like we have, and I think that's very admirable of them, and I think that that's something that the administration should utilize. How will this transform practices as a school administrator? I think I'll use this as a guide as an administrator, pulling small groups of people, allowing for that open dialogue without any sort of backlash, for open and honest opinions about how things are going on campus. And I think this tool could be utilized for all topics, not just professional development.